The opioid crisis is a huge issue in every state, especially in New York. How would you solve it?
Yes. Here's the issue with the opioid crisis. There are many ways to fix it. If you keep if you vote Democrat, what you're going to get is tax more to put more money towards organizations like Oasis, who have a terrible track record of fixing anything. Oasis is actually the organization that is in Albany right now, decides what works and what doesn't work. Guess what? They're failing. And the Democrat answer is give them more money. The Republican answer is do nothing, just talk about it and arrest more people. Neither of those things work. The reality of it is, if you want to actually fix the opioid crisis, there are several things you have to do. The first thing is you have to legalize hemp and cannabis. That is your first thing. That makes many people angry. They go, you can't legalize more drugs? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Larry, it won't work. The data is already in. The data is in Norway. Data is in Switzerland. Data is in Portugal. The data is in California, Colorado, and Washington State. The data isn't everywhere. Once you legalize cannabis, you will have less new addicts. Why? Because over 80% of all opioid addicts began somehow on a prescription drug, a legal prescription drug, almost always to pay medication. Once you have actual cannabis available, people will choose cannabis products and not opioids. Cannabis is nowhere near as addicting as opioids. It's not even close. It is like 1,000,000 to 1 difference. It's not even close. So what happens is, by default, you have less addicts off the bat. Not just that, cannabis is a product you can use also to get people off of opioids. So what does it do? When you're an opioid and you don't have your fix, you go into withdrawal. Cannabis helps to get rid of the withdrawal symptoms. It treats withdrawal symptoms. So someone can actually have a chance at actually getting off of their opioid by using cannabis. Is there a chance to become addicted to cannabis? There's a chance. But cannabis, even if they do get addicted, is a whole lot less harmful than opioids. And the odds of getting addicted are slim. They probably won't. So cannabis allows them to wean themselves off of an opioid. But more importantly, not just for the opioid crisis, it should also be legalized to help out farmers. Small farmers in New York State are being crushed. Hemp and cannabis will help them tremendously in specializing. It will help them. But for the opioid crisis, that's step one. Step two, Oasis has to go away. Oasis tells people how they can be treated. No one knows how every individual can be treated. Some people are treated by religion. Some people are treated by cannabis. Some are treated by family and friends. Some cold turkey. Some prison. It doesn't really matter. Oasis does not know what everyone needs to be healed or cured. Your idea of these safe injection sites, that should be by county. Some people want to do it. Ithaca right now wants to do it. Some counties don't want to. We should let counties and cities who want to try it. If it works for them, awesome. If it doesn't work, we'll learn it doesn't work. But here's the advantage of a safe injection site. The advantage is this. If you've had someone in your life who's been an addict, I have, my mother was one. One problem you have is you can't find them. You physically often can't find them, particularly when you get to a certain level to where they've lost everything, right? When they're still functioning, you can often find them. But once they've gone to the point where they're not functioning anymore, to where the drug is all they have and nothing else, it's hard to find them. A safe injection site allows a person to be found, which means when mom gets sick or dad dies, you can go to your brother or sister and find them. The second thing it does, if it's just an injection site where Narcan is, that's a really bad idea. That is a terrible idea, and some are that. That is a bad idea. It should be an actual site where counselors are there, where tests are there. So when the person actually gets high, they're actually open to losing their drug. When someone's in withdrawal, they don't want to hear, get help, get clean. They can't. They're within withdrawal. Once they've had their drug, and now there's someone that to say, hey, you want to get clean? Do you want to keep living this way? They're actually open to hearing it. And I don't know for the individual whether it will be the first I love you or the 400th I love you that will turn them. One of them will probably turn them, and I hope it turns them before they die. So if an individual county or city wants to do it, they should. If you don't want to, you should vote against it in your county, and I'm okay with that too. But I don't want you deciding, and I don't want anyone deciding, whether or not you have it in your county or city. The county should decide on their own whether they want to have that happen or not. And then we'll learn from it. Right now, what you have is a prison system where we're paying for them in prison, and we're paying $77,000 per year per person in jail. So you can put them in prison, that's one option. Most of them stay addicts in jail. Some don't, but most do. And the recidivism rate is over 70%, so they go back again and again and again. When they get out, they go on Medicaid, Medicare, something depending on how old they are. One of the two, they go on one of those. Usually they're younger, so usually they go on Medicaid. So they go on Medicaid, so we're paying for them again. So your choice is pay for them when they get out, pay for them in jail, or try to get them help. And here's the best part. Most of these sites, if you do it right with the right, will be volunteer anyway. So you won't have to pay for it at all. There are tons of nonprofits who will do this on their own without state money. Tons of volunteers who are happy to jump on board. The person who can help you fix your problem is almost always best when it's the person who's had your problem. So if you actually have the volunteers show up, they're the ones who can help out. So it's actually cheaper if we do it that way than you pay $77,000 per year to keep the person in jail. The vast majority of drug dealers, street drug dealers, are dealing just to pay for their own habit. The street drug dealer that we arrest, the vast majority of them are dealing for their own habit. They can't hold a job, they're always high. So they don't have a job. So they sell their drug to get their drug. That's the most common way. So if we actually treat the addiction, the foot soldier goes away. Right? The foot soldier who's actually selling the drug, most of them are actually addicts. Centralized control has decided methadone is the answer. And methadone is only the answer for some people. Most it's not. And when you do that broad brush, everyone gets methadone, tons of people don't get better. Some do. You'll find a couple. Some do. But if instead we were allowed to use the tools that work for us, those people who could use methadone would and would get off. Those who wouldn't would hopefully find something else of other options. Like cannabis as an example. Cannabis won't work for everybody. Some people, believe it or not, have to actually use vaping to help stop their addiction. Sure, they've changed nicotine for an opioid, and it's worked for them. Don't get me wrong, nicotine's not good either. But if I have a choice between nicotine and heroin, I take nicotine. I take nicotine any day of the week if I have a choice. I take that. And then I'll try to wean myself off of that later. If I have a choice, I'll go that route.